All right, guys, I'm the Nerd Doctor, here to diagnose what's wrong with your RPG game and here to help you fix it. Today is going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to be talking about DC20 specifically. However, caveat, Demon Lords in DC20. So basically, this is about my campaign, and I'm going to talk a little bit, just to give you the quick highlight reel of what this video is going to be about. Is I'm going to tell you what I did with the Demon Lords. I converted them over to DC20, and I did something really fun and unique with that. But I also want to tell you a little bit. I kind of want to rehash a video I did earlier when I talked about Session 0 and origin stories and all of that, and just want to give you kind of a 2-second insight into how this game ended, the mistakes I made, and advice I want to give to anyone who's running a campaign, particularly one out of a book, because I've been prone to this, and I just saw a video, the Dungeon Coach did a video today about how he's going to be working on a new way to kind of create adventures and outline them to give D&Ds a bit of an easier time. But I know where this mistake happened, and I wish that I just know what I wish I would have done differently. And so I just want to give you a really cool outline of what happened at the end of my campaign. Everyone had a good time. A lot of people are new players, but I know what I could have done to make it even better of an ending. I know what could have happened to make it even bigger difference. So first off, Demon Lord battle. So out of the abyss, and I won't spoiler alert. Actually, I'll just say this. There's a spoiler alert. So if you plan on running out of the abyss, one of the concepts they have is at the end of the game, all the Demon Lords will be summoned to the same point, and they will just have a giant battle. Last Demon Lord standing wins, and then the party is there to take out that Demon Lord after they've been injured. Because, and I don't know exactly where the book went with it, but I can tell you right now that my players were nowhere near a level that could take on a level 20 Demon Lord, especially DC21. So it was actually really good that he only had 10 HP because 2 NPCs died, and so did one of the player characters with only 10 health points. So you can imagine how heavy hitting the Demon Lord was. But here's what I did that was so cool, and I actually need to bring it up because I don't know it off the top of my head. But what I did is, because there is no level 20 in DC20, and he does have an earlier version which kind of outlines a little bit what later levels will look like, and he just came out with a recent, how many points of damage and leveling up to level 10 for a monster manual, a new monster manual. And so I just extrapolated that to what level 20 would look like. And I took a little bit of the information that was in the DD stat blocks just for inspirational purposes. But because everyone in my group is still new to DC20, what I did is I took all of these Demon Lords and I gave them a DC20 base class, like a character class. For example, Demogorgon, where is it? Okay, yeah. So, no, I'll start from the top. So Baphomet. So Baphomet was a barbarian, berserker. Demogorgon was a champion. Fraz Blue was a wizard. Jublix was a warlock. Orcus was a sorcerer. Yenogu was a hunter. And Kochchi was a monk. So I just gave them all a unique class. They got some of the base level 1, level 2 abilities, maybe some level 3, 4, some of the talents. I souped them up, each and every one of them got all those abilities so that my players could get a sense of what it was like to play, more DC20. And the reason I did this is because I had been running kind of my own TTRPG, and we'd been doing a lot of one-shots here and there with DC20, and everyone's been interested, but we hadn't really dived into it. But I had been having a lot of issues with some of my combats. Like they were very short-lived. We had some close calls. They were pretty heavy hitting, but probably a little bit short. And I just didn't want that to be. I was worried about scaling and everything for my final battle, particularly with Demon Lords. And I didn't want to. I just wanted it to go well. And like I said, everyone had been having a lot of fun with our regular games with just our one-shots for DC20. So I made sure to just highlight that. And so I converted all my players' characters to DC20 level 10 and extrapolated a little bit. There's not all these class abilities for all of them out just yet. So I mixed and matched, but they looked cool. Everyone was like them. They did a regular battle with some other level 10 characters, dwindled down some resources, took a quick rest, and then Demon Lord battle, and I had every one of my players take control of a Demon Lord, and they fought it out. It was looking pretty hairy there for a few different ones. Jubilix went up against Koch Chi and tried to like engulf him and take him out, and honestly, it was a very near miss. But because he missed, Koch Chi actually hammered out and took out Jubilix within 2 rounds. Took a lot of punching and hit with this heavy hammer. So Jubilix was out first, down for the count. A lot of little crossfire abilities that went wrong, but in the end, what ended up happening, it ended up being Orcus, Yanogu, and who was it? I think, yeah, Koch Chi was the second to last one. Frazer Blue, I really had to hype up because a lot of the Demon Lords are immune to charm, and he's like all charm or illusions, and so I made them all worth playing. Like, I'll just say that. But ended up being Orcus in the end, just because he could fly away. He got away from Demogorgon, took him out from a distance, and yeah. So Orcus had 10 HP left going into a battle with my DC20 players who were level 10. Like I said, they took some hits in the one quick round that it had before it was beaten, and then I did a level 10 legendary battle with one surprise character, twist ending, like guy who actually unleashed the Demon Lords that had interacted with them early in the game, and had a really cool battle. Again, 2 important NPCs died during that battle. One of the players almost died, but if not for a really cool, like this, and Alan, if you watch this, Thread of Fate, this was a spell in our game, and it allowed a player to basically allow another, like he would cast a dice, and if he was able to cast a spell, cast it as a reaction, he successfully rolled it, he could change the outcome of a roll. And so he was going to die, re-rolled, saved, and boom, that was and saved the life of another player before he could go down. But cool battle. Ultimately, everyone had a really great time. They said it was a really good ending. Now, here was what I did that was so wrong. Here's what I regret. I did move things along. We'd been playing for 2 years. I've been playing out of the book. It was a little railroady, a little structured. Originally when we played this, I wasn't really sure how I was gonna do it, and like I said, I discovered this concept of these origin story sessions that I played with another campaign that I played as a player, and I did a couple of them with some of my players just as like kind of a window because we couldn't all meet, and so I took whoever could and we ran a couple origin stories, and we had a freaking blast. You can watch that video in my content, but ultimately my players lacked a deep connection to the world. Afterwards it was like, what are you doing? What are you doing with the rest of your life? You got a promotion. You get to choose how are you going to live your life. So the epilogue was not all that interesting, if I'm being honest. Some players had some quick insights, like this is what I'll do. It was really late at night. I wrapped it up a little bit quickly. We've all been kind of talking about the next campaign we're going to do. Again, it was a lot of people's first campaign. Everybody had a ton of fun, but I just know what I could have done differently. And again, I just bringing it back to that origin story concept, really connecting my players to the world, really you really have to find those connections, and you really have to be, because like even the 2 NPCs that died, like I just did not role play those guys enough, interacting with them and as the party. So when they died, it was kind of, hey, like, what do you do? They're like, oh yeah, we'll take them to the surface, we'll bury them. Like it wasn't sad, maybe a little bit, but ultimately no one was losing sleep over it. Not that I necessarily want people to lose sleep over it, but it would be pretty cool if they did. So that's my 2 cents. Is just the best advice I can give for a long-term campaign is you really have to find ways for players to get invested in your characters. You really ask your players what they care about and really dig into that, because once you do that and you start incorporating it into your stories and really leveraging the things that those players care about, that's when you're going to find ways to like interact with that, whether it's with NPCs or events or something. But I think what I learned from playing with one of the guys I play with, he's the DM, is he pulls no punches when it comes to making you make really hard choices. But that comes from knowing your characters. You got to know what, like, you got to ask them, like, where is your character leaning, and then present an option that's going to make them, that's going to challenge them. Like they're going this way, but oh wait, what's going on over here? Make players make hard choices and make real consequences for them. Good, bad, doesn't matter. That's how you're going to get the impact. So that was my 2 cents. Real kind of bummer for me, because the battle was great. Don't get me wrong. Again, the battle was great, but I wish I could have ended it better. But I'm going to take that and roll into that. So I hope that advice helps someone else who maybe in the middle of a game or getting ready to start a game, is just, find those impactful moments for the players. The story is great, but it's the story that the players create that makes the biggest difference. So if you got to be really mindful of that when you're running a module, because the story is already written, and you can get into the habit of discounting your character's choices to follow the story, and you just got to be like, I don't care what you choose. Choose what you want to do. Don't plan too far ahead, and base, this is going to happen no matter what. So just let that happen, and let your characters make their decisions. And they're going to be faced with that challenge one way or the other. So, because again, Out of the Abyss is a perfect example. If nothing happens in a certain amount of time, like, stuff's going to happen. You got demon lords running around in the Underdark. All right, anyways, again, I'm the Nerd Doctor, here to diagnose what's wrong with your RPG game and here to help you fix it. This was your weekly dose of the Nerd Doctor. Play smarter, stay clever, and again, don't forget those like and subscribe buttons. And again, keep an eye out on my content below, because I will be having a player mat and cards and stuff for classes and for magic spells and maneuvers and everything coming out. So keep an eye out on my content below. Thanks for listening, guys.